Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be on encampment frequently asked questions. So I did a poll and I asked what you were interested in, and apparently something encampment related. With encampment coming up this winter, hopefully I can answer some of your mostly asked questions and make you feel a little more comfortable with going. Let's get started. The first thing I want to mention is a lot of these are going to be specific to your wing. So that's gonna be my answer, is just check with your wing or see from them. And I also have an entire playlist with like 18 videos on encampment with your staffing, your basic or whatever, so go check those videos out below because they're gonna be a lot more specific. Okay, the first thing I want to do is, why did they change the name from basics to students? And they basically, when they redid all of the encampment manual, or like the pamphlet, the guide, Cat Pamphlet 60-70, they changed it, and I kind of like that they did. A lot of people will still use the term basics because it's going to take a culture shift to actually switch it out, but it just takes basics was a little derogatory, and then staff was kind of basic. So students is really what they are. They're there to learn. They looked into like training, and you can like see a little like description in 60-70 as to why they changed it. But it's now students in cadre, or advanced students in cadre, and then senior members are still referred to as staff. What is the amount of PT done? For basics, you're going to look up to about half an hour to an hour, pretty much for basics and line staff. Support staff doesn't always have to do PT, it depends on your wing. Usually it's depending on how cold it is, a short little run, and then some like calisthenics. So you're going to do some stretching, like arm across the chest, arm behind the head, calf stretch, jumping jacks, sit-ups, push-ups, flutter kicks, things of that nature. It's meant to push you, but if you're in decent physical shape, you'll be fine. Do's and don'ts. Do work your ass off, work hard. That's the biggest thing. Is like, if you go in with the right mentality, the right attitude, you'll do fine. The don'ts are, don't bring anything that's contraband, don't be an idiot, don't think you're better than everyone else, don't not use customs and courtesies. Like, it's generally be smart, do smart things, and you'll be fine. What is it like? As a basic cadet, the intensity is going to be decently high, especially when you start. It may be a little freaky because there's going to be yelling, and it's not going to be rainbows and butterflies all the time. But the biggest thing as a basic is you don't really need to think. And I say that in a weird way because as a basic, your job is to do exactly what your staff tells you to do. Stand at attention. Stand at attention. It's literally, they tell you exactly what to do. They tell you when to eat, when to read, when to get ready for bed. They tell you exactly when to do everything. So it's really easy as basic. If you can follow directions, you can thrive as a basic. Or student, my apologies. As a staff member, you do have to think. And a big thing is the communication with your flight sergeant, flight commander, and those other people you're working with, to have that strong communication, just to make sure that everything runs smoothly and effectively. And that's very, very important and vital to the success of your students. So make sure you have that strong communication, and then you do need to be able to think for yourself as to, why aren't my basics understanding this? How can I rethink this? How can I change this so that they get this better? Focus on your individual cadets. Make sure you learn their names, their first names, last names, what rank they are, who they're hanging out with, like where they sleep, like why do they have such lower inspection scores. Just ask your questions, why, and how can I improve, and how can I change? The biggest thing about staff is if you get burned out, if you get tired, then what that can lead to is where you're just stagnant, where you're no longer passionate about those basics, students, and that's when things start to go awry. Command is encampment. So I was a cadet commander this past winter, and command is crazy because it's the first time that I really, I could see something I was learning or something I needed to improve on every minute of every day. And it's, when they talk about like strategic leadership, like once you get into like phase 4 and like executive level, it was so true. There's so many like spinning things as to, we're gonna be late to here, or this tour starts here, or this person wants to be interviewed for this, or this person needs this, or I mean, there was one night where I was up at 1 a.m. with a puking girl, and another day where I was sewing on nameplates because a staff member had them on backwards. So like, there were so many different little things, and I was wearing so many different hats, and it was like, well, this cadet still has her cell phone, or this cadet like is doing this, or like talking to flight sergeant and flight commanders, be like, what's wrong? Like, there's just so many things going on that you never have a spare moment, and you're always just thinking as to what's next and planning ahead. But working with senior members is really your success point. Like, if you have a good commandant, your world is amazing. So commanding encampment is awesome. It's wonderful. Just make sure you have good senior members and you have your good staff, because they'll make it worth it. How do you make your bed? Google how to do hospital corners. It's pretty much like that for every encampment. Some require that you bring your own sheets and blankets, others do not. It's just kind of up to the encampment, but it's pretty much standardized across the board. You have like a head, which is like 18 inches, a 6-inch collar, and then like hospital corners. You can like Google like hospital corners and they'll teach you exactly how to do it. I wouldn't really worry too much about learning in advance because it really won't help you a ton because your staff will teach you how to do it and exactly how they want it in inches and all of that. How do you keep your uniform looking good? The main thing is take care of it. The only really time that it's like dirty is like the O course. So ask your staff maybe what day you're going to the O course. If they have laundry available, then make sure you do that. If you iron ahead of time and just bring a hanging garment bag, you should come with pretty perfect uniforms. And I recommend having like your blues, all your badges and everything already on it, unless they require that you don't. Like keep your garters on it. Like it's just the main things like keeping up. Because if every night you hang up your BDUs and stuff, they shouldn't get too dirty. And then just before inspection, you should have some time to prepare your uniform, so it shouldn't be too bad. Just general take care of it. What do people typically mess up? I think the biggest thing is that they go in there with arrogance or like they're above the law. I think this comes from like either older cadets, arrogant cadets, or those who are like, I want to be armor cadet. Just go into the mentality of I want to learn, I'm going to have fun, and like this is going to be great. That's really the biggest thing is like if you go in there with a big head or as a staff member like flight sergeant or flight commander, you generally know who your honor cadet's going to be pretty fast. And you can just like kind of see in the way they're leading. And those who are arrogant are hard. And they can often like drive a wedge in between like the forming or performing of your like flight. And that's very important. And then as a staff member, once again, it's just they go in arrogant thinking they know it all, that they don't need help, that they don't need to communicate, they're above the law. Like just be smart. That's the biggest thing. How can an airman go and show leadership without being on staff? As an airman, we're not really looking for you to show leadership ability. Like, yes, like help other cadets with like their insignias, but like make sure you don't overshadow the flight sergeant. That actually happened once when I was a flight commander. Is one of the basics like started like coaching like the other basics like taking place of the flight sergeant because I think he was like in the bathroom or something. And I was like, no. That is not your place. Like, I don't want you to show any leadership ability that is any way that of a flight sergeant. Like, help your fellow, but like, be a battle buddy, be a wingman. Don't try and be on staff. Like, be a good cadet that you are, and that's what we want. Like, that's how you're gonna show your best, is showing that good passion about the program and like, that you know your stuff. Answers for being interviewed for staff. So I've interviewed a lot of people. Like I said, I was cadet commander at encampment. So I interviewed all my people. And the biggest thing is I want to know that you're competent and you're passionate. And so, for all of the answers, if they ask you, like, what's the drill manual and you don't know, say, I know it's in the 60 series and they recently redid it. And I know there's also the Air Force Manual 36. I don't remember the exact serial number, but I'll make sure to research that and know it before encampment. So even if you don't know the answer, say something you know about it, maybe say, not sure, or maybe write those down beforehand, or make sure you just learn those. If they ask the chain of command, make sure you know the chain of command. Those are kind of it's basically like common knowledge questions. And everything else, show that you're passionate, show that you're there for your students. If they ask, why do you want to staff this encampment? Be like, I learned a lot, I was impacted as staff, I loved my basic experience, and I want to give that to other cadets. Short, sweet, and passionate, that's all I want. If you're like, well, I think I'd be good because, I'm at my squadrons, and I'm a flight sergeant there, and the cadets really like me, and I think I'm really good for them. Like, no, you're not showing me any confidence, you're showing me kind of you're self-centered and that you think you deserve it. Show me that you're there for the cadets, and you'll be fine. Sleep arrangements, nightlife. Usually it's basic, like females with basic males, or students, sorry, keep doing that. And then usually like you have a flight sergeant, flight commander who's also in there with you, so there's staff members. Sometimes you'll have support staff in there as well, sometimes even senior members, which is weird to me, but whatever. And so you get an hour of personal time, and then you go to bed, and you have an hour required like 8.5 hours of sleep. So like it's pretty fine. Yeah, that personal time is uninterrupted, so they can't be yelling at you, so you can go to bed early, you can do a devotional. A lot of people are ironing, shining shoes, showering, things like that. But yeah, it used to be where they could like time you like in and out of the shower, but technically now they can't. So once they put you in their rooms, usually they give you an hour and they'll come back in and they'll tell you to go to bed, get in your beds, they'll turn the lights off, and then you'll see them in 8.5 hours. Do you have to be a basic to be on staff? Technically, no. The requirements are all, they're set by the manuals and regulations, which require that you go attend an encampment before you get your Mitchell. And there's also like the JROTC exemptions for that. But I think individual encampments that actually say that you can't staff until you go as a basic. It's not an actual regulation. So, interesting fact. What are advanced flights? Some encampments have these. It's either like they teach you advanced drill, some do like model rocketry and riflery, some are like intense advanced. It just kind of range, but it's for those who are not on staff. In some instances they didn't make staff, and some they didn't choose to. Like when I went to my Texas Wings ATS or Advanced Training School, I have actually staffed encampment like 6 times at the time, and I really just love the reputation of the school, and it's one of the best programs I've ever done. But I chose not to be on encampment staff and chose to go to their ATS, whereas some wings it's like mainly those under like chief, and they didn't make staff, like they just haven't developed those skills yet, and then they go to ATS or whatever their school is. That's all the questions I had. If you have any more, leave them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer those. And check out my playlist. I have tons and tons of questions on what it's like and all of those. So, guys, thrive in encampment. I'm so happy that all of you get that opportunity. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!